How long before you feel sure about someone? I've been seeing this guy for a few months now, and I've been unsure about us being right for each other long term. I enjoy his company, we get along well, and I'm definitely developing feelings for him. He has some amazing positive traits and has treated me well so far. He has also made concrete efforts to meet my needs every time I express them, becoming more responsive/frequent in communicating with me, opening up about his past, seeing each other more. He's warm, loving, and tries to make my life a little bit easier, which I'm not used to, but man is it nice. Then why don't I feel sure about him? Every time I feel the need to push a little further in the relationship, I spend days pondering whether to do it, if it's worth it, and whether he'll help me and respond poorly. I want him to ask about me, but every time he does, I stumble upon my words. I'm used to having very close friends with whom I have deep, long, sometimes existential conversations with, and it's just not happening with him. When I don't see him for a while, I start feeling like he's a stranger, and then it goes away when we meet up, just to come back later. I'm alone on this roller coaster. He seems absolutely fine with how things are, stable, reliable even. But I still don't feel sure. Sure this is right for me, sure he's trustworthy, sure we have a common ground on how we see the world, sure that you have a good grasp of who this person is at his core. I thought it was normal at this stage, but I recently talked to some friends and they told me they were sure pretty early on, so I come here to ask, how long does it take for you to feel that sureness about the person you're seeing? Have you ever had this kind of feeling, and how did it turn out in the end? Update: I thought about breaking things off, and the idea pained me. So instead I did something I was still not 100% comfortable with. I introduced him to a friend. And I know it can sound lame, but in my adult life I'd never gotten to the point where I was able to get over the anxiety of other people's judgment over my choices in partners. This time I wanted to push through. So first I asked him, my friend invited me to go meet his new girlfriend, wanna join? I was sure he'd come up with an excuse not to. Instead he agreed right away. He checked more than once the day and time, because, in his words, I don't want to be late and embarrass you in front of your friends. I was expecting to be struck by some huge flaw of his I hadn't noticed before. Instead he was lovely the whole night. He insisted on paying for drinks. He got along well with R and his girlfriend. On our way back he said R had told him something along the lines of Op is a nice person and I can see she's found a good guy, and he was so goddamn happy to have received those words of affirmation from someone so close to me. I could see it. I realized he had known for a while that R was my ex and he had never expressed jealousy or controlling behavior. Instead he said, I can see you're happy around him and I'm glad you have such a good friend. And he meant it. Then it clicked. I realized I had been expecting the worst of this poor guy since the day I met him, and all he had shown me was kindness and care. The more I grew to like him, the more I got panicky and thought the whole thing was destined to turn sour. Based on what evidence? When a condom broke and we had to discuss what we'd do in case of pregnancy, and I was afraid his religion would make him rule out termination, he took my hands and said we'd do what I wanted, and he'd be there either way. When I got the chance to score a new big client, he asked me about every development and said he was sure I'd get it, because I'm smart, capable and hardworking. When the handle of my fridge broke, he fixed it. When I first told him about the reasons I've been in therapy for the last 2 years, he was warm and accepting. He asked when my birthday was 2 weeks after I met him. He's asked to meet more of my friends. When his health was acting up and I was worried that if something happened to him I'd never know, he gave my number to one of his friends and told him to contact me if he ever was in a situation where he couldn't. He has cooked for me and made sure I have enough leftovers to bring to work the next day. After our first few weeks together, he kissed me on the eyes, and I jokingly told him what my mother taught me: when you kiss someone on the eyes, it's the last time you'll see them. He has never done that again. There, that's the evidence I had that made me so distrustful. I did it all on my own. I felt like such an idiot. I was such an idiot. But after that night, it just clicked. I was relieved. I took a deep breath and relaxed. And it worked like magic. Everything fell into place. We're going out more. We're talking more. I can actually fall asleep next to him. A few nights ago we were joking and I told him, by the way, I think you're my boyfriend now. No answer. If you agree. I was almost ready to retreat and pass it as a big joke. He laughed and said, you have been my girlfriend since the first night I spent with you. Not a hint of resentment. It made my heart ache. That's it. I still don't know where this is headed, but I'm okay with just letting it play out and live in the moment. But at least now I'm sure this is the person I want to be with right now.